Our very first eye-opener show and teller, I don't know if that's a word, a teller is Larry Albrecht. He's in the studio this morning with his special something. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning.
All right, what did you bring for show and tell?
I brought you my pig lungs.
Pig lungs. Oh my goodness. Okay, Larry, describe those lungs for us. Is that the trachea in there as well, too?
It is.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my.
The lungs are sort of styrofoam in nature. I was a respiratory technology student, and my dad had a pig butchered for us and asked the butcher for the lungs, and so I was able to hook them up to an air compressor and dry them out. And so in their fully inflated, dried out stage, they're about 20 centimeters tall at the highest peak and about 40 centimeters long, and each one is about 10, 11 centimeters across. And the trachea is attached, and there's two little holes where the blood vessels would have fed blood into the lungs and then taken it back out to be distributed to the rest of the body.
It's so cool. From the pictures, because Larry sent us pictures first, it looked like you had them sitting on your coffee table. It actually looked like they were made of kind of stone because you could see all this veining through it. Mm-hmm. But when you're holding it, it's so light. It really is.
Almost like cotton candy. Yes. It's so foamy looking, and it's huge. It's much bigger than I thought it would be.
It is much bigger. So, Larry, when you got them, were you able to, did you say you were able to inflate them?
Yeah, hook them up to a dry air source that pumped air through them on a continuous basis for near a week until they were completely dried. And once that happened, they were somewhat preserved, and they've lived their own life in my presence for quite a while.
So I understand why you got them in the first place. I'm very curious why, lo, these many years later, they are still in your possession.
Great question. I'm a concrete abstract learner, and so to be able to have them helped me, and I became fascinated with all things anatomy, physiology, and so they kind of served that purpose. And then I went on to my second career as a teacher. I was a high school biology, chemistry teacher, and so I often would take them into my class when we were doing human anatomy and use them, and hence they've got a few punctures in them from being handled. But then just kept them at home, and my wife continues to threaten, as of even a couple of days ago, saying, "You're not really bringing them back from the CBC, are you?" And I said, "Yes, I am." So just hiding them around and pull them out occasionally. We have 5 grandkids, Sienna Mitchell and Lincoln and Esme and Elsa, and so they love to play treasure hunt every now and then when they were smaller. And so the pig lungs would be a point where we'd get them to go and find the next clue and move on to eventually find the treasure. So they've served a few purposes, but have hung around through a number of moves. And the thing that I've always protected when we've moved are my pig lungs.
Fun for the whole family.
Absolutely.
The set of pig lungs. So I'm curious, because your family is not quite as enamored of the pig lungs as you are, where have you been hiding them off and on?
Often on the top shelf of a closet or in a storage shelf in a furnace room, just anywhere where I'm out of sight, out of mind, so they don't get tossed.
So I'm curious, when you first got these lungs, of course, you were just starting out in your first career. You had them displayed on your coffee table as kind of a conversation piece. Your now wife, was this one of the things that you used as a conversation starter when you were dating?
I can tell you that I had them there because I didn't have any money, and so they were a good decoration. They were never a good pickup line, I can share with you.
They were good for the romance. But you're still married, Larry.
Yes, my lovely wife is somewhat patient, and part of the purpose that they serve is for me to irritate her every now and then in a good way.
I see. This is the key to a happy marriage. So I am curious now, because you've kept them despite protests from your family, and now your grandchildren are in the mix. Have you left them in your will to anyone?
No, talking to 3 of our grandkids who live now in Georgia the other day, and suggested that maybe who would like them. And I have one grandson who kind of offered half-heartedly just to please me, I think. But
he kind of offered.
Yes, Yes, Grandpa, I will give your lungs a home.
I'm open to anybody that may want them. I give them a good home.
So now the real question is, Larry, you've brought them out of hiding. You've taken them into us. How are you going to get them back into your house? Because I'm guessing your family's on high alert now.
They are. I will manage. I'm not exactly sure, but I'll be keeping a protective eye out in the next while to make sure that my wife isn't searching them down.
I'm just worried that she might be waiting for you as you arrive home in the doorway, or the locks may have been changed.
Undoubtedly, that's a possibility.
Larry, thank you so much for coming in, for being our first official show and teller. We're going to take some pictures of you with the lungs. They're so interesting looking.
They're cool. This is really
You'll have
cool.
to touch them. Yeah, they're great.
Okay, I'll touch them.
For sure.
Oh, they are. It's
Can I
foamy.
touch this? I
Yeah.
still am wearing this stupid boot on my foot. Oh.
That is really interesting.
It is spongy. It is just like styrofoam.
Yeah, I thought it'd be more meaty, like meat. It is not like meat at all.
They dried out really well.
Yeah.
And that was a fairly large pig that they came from. It's a good set of lungs you got there, Larry.
Take it as a compliment.
There you go.